Okay, so this video is going to be a reconstruction of my 38 5x5 single that I did a few months ago. And like with the 4x4 single reconstruction, you will notice that there are a fair few inefficiencies and mistakes that I make in this solve, particularly during the edges. So it just shows that in order to get fast solves, your solutions don't necessarily need to be perfect all of the time. And particularly on big cubes, it's more about keeping the flow and looking ahead. And also, I think I turned fairly quickly on this solve, which was kind of nice. So I started off by doing the orange center. Also note that I'm doing this with the reconstruction, so please be patient if I slow down a little bit. I just need to make sure that I get every single move correct because it has flow-on effects. So I started out by doing the orange center. I have this line, these two, and this one. And so what I did was a D first to move this corner center here, so that when I insert this line, I connect this corner center to this edge center down here. So I go R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, and then an F to set up these two so that I can go U prime, F, R, U, R2 prime, like that, to create this orange center down the bottom. And then I created a T on the red side based on these ones and this one. So doing that creates this 1x3. And then I can insert this edge center here. And I noticed on this right-hand side that this was my only red centerpiece on this right-hand side. So I can do an R prime, then U prime, then rotate this way. And my last red centerpieces will end up on these two faces. So that I can do R prime, U, R, like that. Align this, pair it up, and then solve the red center like that. The next thing I did was create a T on the green center using these two, this one and this one. So I did R, U, R prime, U prime, R, and then inserted this edge like that. And then I finished off the green center by doing U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U, R, like that. And then I needed to create a 2x3 on the white center using these two, this one and these two. So I did a U2 and then RU, R prime to pair up those and create a 2x2, and then inserted this last one to create a 2x3 there. And then I moved that to the bottom, and these three now on the top are not a particularly nice case, but it's just the case that we have, so we've got to do it. So I did U prime, R prime, U2, R, U2, and then R prime, U prime, R prime sets these up so that we can do an R2 slice to resolve the green and the white. And instead of doing the R2 all the way, I'd actually did R, U2, R, because I remembered I had this 1x2 block here, such that when if we do R, U2, R, it creates this 2x2 block, which is quite nice because then what I did was F prime, U prime. Yep, that's right. I did F prime, U prime, and then inserted this 1x2 to attach it to this 2x2, like so, and then did U, and then as I was inserting this last 1x3 block, I noticed I had this blue and white semi-pair, and this last blue and white one was here. So I went straight away and sliced to pair up this first edge here. After this, my next intention was to solve this blue and yellow, and I did something like a U prime U just to check this blue and yellow piece back here if it was a blue and yellow, so to check this blue sticker, and unfortunately it wasn't. So I just went ahead and inserted this, and because I knew that this blue and yellow wasn't on the top here, I hadn't properly looked around the middle layer yet, but I just went straight away and did a Z2 anyway. And in doing the Z2, I realized that it wasn't here either. It was actually in the middle slice all along. But I kept the orientation like this and did a U2 like that, and then took it out. And then I'm not sure why I didn't go for the the green and yellow here, because I had this pair and this pair. But what I did instead was actually did the orange and yellow, which is this one, attached it here, and then put this one into the back, and then sliced like so, and then did a U2, F, R prime, F prime, R to set up these two. So luckily enough, this green and yellow remained paired up. And then I did a U prime, and then took that one out into the top layer, because I thought at this stage that this was actually already paired up and I had 4 edges solved, when in fact I only had 3 edges solved. And unfortunately, this meant I did another unnecessary Z2 rotation. So I did a Z, then an R2 to pair up this yellow and red with this yellow and red one. Then did another Z, did a U2 and a Y2 to look for the last yellow and red piece when it was down here all along, but I thought it was already solved. And so in doing that, I kind of gave up on the yellow and red, which wasn't very good, and did something like U prime D, and then did R, U prime, R prime, like that. And so I realized, okay, well, I need to look for this last yellow and red edge. So I did an X2, like that, U prime, and finally realized the last yellow and red edge was back here. R prime, U, R, D prime, R, U prime, R prime. Then did another X2, and then continued and worked on the orange and white. So did a U prime, like that, to pair up these two with this one, rotated, and then in pairing up these two with this one, I noticed that this one got split up as well. So did a U prime like that, inserted this last red and white, and then I did something like U prime, U prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, and then resolved my centers, and now we've solved the first 8 edges. So after the first 8 edges, the next one I did was the blue and red, so these two and this one. So I took out the back pair there, sliced, insert, and then slice back, like so. I did U, like that. And then the next one that I did was this orange and green. So I did something like Y prime, R, F, R prime, like so, to pair up this, to set up this with these two. Slice, insert, slice back, and then I had this easy last 2 edge case, which is just a matter of doing that, flipping, and slicing back. And then the cross that I did was on blue, so I did this one, and this one. So I went R, L, U, and then rotated, and then did something like R, D, like that. And then the first F2L pair that I did was these two, U prime, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, R. And then what I did was went to pair up these two, R, U2, R prime, and then noticed that actually in doing that, these two got paired up as well. So I went U prime, R prime, F, R, R prime, like that. So sledgehammered it, basically. Then I went and inserted this one. Then I went and inserted these two, like so. And then what I did was actually did through rough, because I had that OLL case where through rough gives me a T. And I do know an algorithm for this EVL case. I don't know if it's the most optimal algorithm, but I do know how to solve it in just one look. So it's just anti-soon, and then I have this 3-corner cycle. And then a U for AUF.